Aha.
Aha. Well, greetings, world, and greetings, Seven Spot. Seven Spot Jim here, broadcasting from the palatial and air-conditioned studios of Seven Spot from the basement of our house in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada, broadcasting to the world. And with my co-host, John Minion, who is also the co-host with Chris Hollier of Avon Rescue Series. Say hi, John, if you would.
Evening all.
And we're going to bring to the table two gentlemen who have built an NG pickup. We have Chris Hollier, also co-host of Avon Rescue, and his partner in crime, Laurie Bush. Just want to say hi, guys.
Yep. Hi, world. We'll show you what we're up to.
So it was you two in the pub, but we'll come on to that then. Yeah.
Well, it's almost the pub. Yeah, almost the pub. Yeah.
And joining us all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, where it's hot, is Dave Lascelle. Say hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, guys. Good to be back. It's been a while.
And Taunton, Trevor, Oscar's Garage. Say hi, Trevor.
Hi, Trevor.
Excellent. So anyway, what we're here to do is have a discussion about what you've managed to build in 5 months. And I got the question first off. I always lead with this one, is the why part. You mentioned last year you were at your NG show, and after a few brown ones, nice cold ones, in discussion, you decided on a new topic, a new type of build to take on. How did that come about, and how did you manage to migrate from an NGTA, I think it must have been,
to a pickup?
Yeah. Where did that come from?
Do you want me to, Laurie, do you want to start, or do you want me to lead off on this one? Because Laurie's been an instrumental part of this one. It's been a 50-50 build. So
okay, well, Laurie, you're up.
No, he's having connection problems by the look of it. So I'll start it off anyway. Yeah. No, he's gonna carry on frozen, I think. So
okay. Well, I'll let you take the lead.
Yeah, at the NG Owners Club, we've taken our own little gazebo for the last few years, and we've set our own little area up on one side of the showground. And we treat it as our little retreat, so we can, rather than being in the main Owners Club gazebos, we can just sit and chill out, and friends of ours can come and see us. Mm-hmm. And I can see Laurie's still trying, but I still can't hear anything. And we were just sitting chatting about all the things that have been done with NG, and how it was a good make. It's been tried to death. People have done loads of things with it, but what hasn't been done yet? And one of the things that came to mind straight away was nobody's done a commercial version. So we thought, okay, it's not that complicated. As long as you can keep the front end and the cab fairly similar, it's just a matter of changing the back. So then we started kicking ideas in on what else we could do at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then thought, well, if we're going to build something that we're going to use, because it's going to be a practical vehicle rather than just a show car or a fun car, it needs a bit more of a practical engine in it as well. So rather than the old MGB engine, there's nothing wrong. I like MGB engines. But if you're using it every day, fuel consumption is a bit heavy. And it's also a very heavy engine because it's all iron. So we thought, okay, why don't we try putting an MX-5 engine and gearbox in it? Much lighter, same power, much better fuel economy. But then you've got the complication of fuel injection as well. Which makes it, rather than just 2 wires to get the engine running, you've got 200 wires to get the engine running. So there's a bit more to it. But yeah, that was the basic starting point. Talking to half a dozen other guys in the club and kicking ideas backwards and forwards about, is it worth it? Should we do it? Should we not do it? But yeah, we used the MX-5. It's a 1.8 Mazda NB engine with the 5-speed Mazda gearbox behind it.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask a dumb question about the engine? Did it? Okay, where did you source it? Was it? Did you have the brains for it, or?
Well, because this was a dumb idea, we started by looking to find the cheapest MX-5 engine we could. We managed to find one. Yeah, we managed to find one for £80 on Facebook Marketplace.
Wow, I was going to say, yeah.
Well, hey,
80 quid. Wow.
all we need is something just to fit in the hole for now, so we can build around it.
Yeah.
And then we can worry about the engine if the whole stupid idea comes to fruition later. Because as John just said, you can pick up a nice running MX-5 engine for 200, 300 pounds. So they're not expensive, even if you go down.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They normally rust out, especially on the front wings and sills. So MOT failures, 400 or 500 quid. Yeah, plenty.
Yeah, so we thought we'd just use this one, put it together. I'm very, very lucky that my eldest son, James, is very good at electronic fuel injection. He works for a TVR specialist.
Okay, well, that makes a difference.
And he's taught himself all about electronic fuel injection, works an awful lot with Emerald, the people who make the ECUs, which are very far away from us.
Very popular, yeah.
So we said to him, do you fancy getting involved? And he said, well, in the back of my cupboard, I've got an old Mega Squirt ECU, which I haven't used. I built it all those years ago, about 10 years ago, and never used it. So it looks like Laurie might be coming back. That's good.
Yeah, I've just seen him.
He's trying. He's trying.
So
don't worry, Laurie. Keep trying.
Yeah. So James said, if you want to use the ECU, give me a couple of £100 for the ECU, and I'll wire it all in for him and make it work. So he did all the wiring, and we were expecting to get it in there once we built the truck, and thinking, well, we'll see how much it knocks, how much it smokes, and then see if we can use it just to drive it on the showground. Fired it up, runs like a watch.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Absolute book. It was no skill on our part. It was just, thank you very much. We got lucky.
Yeah, brilliant. And for 80 quid.
For 80 quid for the. Yeah, we had to drive 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away to go and get it. So it wasn't the end of the world. But.
Yeah, brilliant. Laurie's back, I think. Hi, Laurie, can you hear us?
Oh, if nothing else, he can watch.
No, we've still got no sound from you, Laurie.
Can hear.
He's lagging. I'm so sorry, Laurie. You're lagging out a bit.
Yeah.
Chris,
so anyway,
in that,
yeah.
Oh, go on.
Go on, Trevor. No, please. Ask.
Okay, I was going to. Immediate question: how much alcohol was there in that tent when you were coming up with this plan?
Oh, let's just say some, shall we? Yeah.
There wasn't much left after they decided on the plan. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. No, it took a little while after we got home to actually try and remember what we said and try and decipher what we thought about and how we should have done it. Because in NG's past, Nick Green's clever designer, very active guy, and he obviously started the company. His name was Nick Green, hence the NG company name.
Yeah.
And after he'd done his first few models, he tried to make a closed coupe. The styling was beautiful, but the car was quite small, and he's quite a tall guy. And I think access inside the car made it pretty much a stillborn project. So that was one of the things we looked at as a possibility to go for a closed coupe. But the time you get the roof line down to fit the dimensions of the rest of the car, it made it. I'm 6'2". I'm not going to get in a little tiny coupe. It's just not going to happen. So.
Yeah.
So responding to the question there, we came home from Stratford, where the NG Owners Club show was. Started kicking the ideas around about what we needed to start. We obviously needed a chassis, a basic NG chassis. They do appear quite a lot from time to time because the early ones weren't IVA compliant, and to change them over to IVA regulations is a fair amount of work. It's not impossible, but there's a fair amount of work. So we found this one for £100, which was not very far away from us. And that was the sort of genesis of the project. Right, we've now got a chassis. Now we can start finding the other bits and pieces. And it was very much a background, having a look what we can find, what we can do. Because I was building the Tiger at this time. That was taking
Tiger Avon, yeah.
That was taking front and centre. So I was very much trying to get that pushed forward. So all this was happening evenings and weekends. So
dumb question about the Tiger, the Avon Rescue Project. You had a professional cameraman assisting you on that project. Might you want to share who that person might be?
Well, he's just come back online again now. Yeah.
But he's having problems with his camera. Yeah.
I was going to say, his photography is better than his internet connection.
Yeah. Can you hear us, Laurie? Can you hear us, Laurie? Hi, Laurie.
I guess he's trying laptop rather than phone this time.
No worries. Laurie, I will say this. I'm going to send you a complete copy of this to your messenger site. So you, if nothing else, you can watch it in review and have a good laugh.
Yeah. But when I say we were winging it doing the Tiger Avon videos, we were proper biplane stuff.
Yeah.
We were just thinking, okay, what's going to work here? How do we do that? This microphone keeps going green. That one keeps going blue. The camera's over here, over there. And every time I'm moving, the autofocus, because they did it on a GoPro to start with, the autofocus is all over the place. You noticed it, Jim, because you were editing it.
Yeah.
Very steep learning curve. The building the car was the easy bit. I can do that. But trying to get videos to work, that was hard work.
That can often take more time. You know, you do a 20-minute build video, it can take you an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours just to edit it down and get the good bits. Everyone says that. Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, I was going to say you at Oscar's Garage. I mean, you must spend hours in the editing. You know, with all the the auctions that you go to and tracing these
hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome back, Laurie.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yay!
Can hear you.
Welcome back.
There you go.
Yeah, better signal this time as well. You're not as laggy.
Hopeless phone.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, you're on your PC now. Yeah, much better connection.
No, I'm still on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
I might try.
Let's go back to the NG, shall we? And
that's what I was going to say.
I'll get you to Laurie when you get the chance. Butt in rather than me gassing away all the time, and then it might upload at a reasonable speed that way.
Okay, I'll get used to you gassing on all the time, but there you go.
Yeah, funny that.
Someone's just asked what did the members of the group think when you told them what you were planning? They must have gone, what?
Well, the NG Owners Club
we didn't really tell anyone.
It's a surprise.
Well, they'd seen my TCV8 and they'd seen that we've managed to do a lot of weird stuff on it, because it's very much, even though it looks like a standard TCV8, there's a huge amount of changes on it.
That's the blue one, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, they had an idea that we might get up to something, but we hadn't told them we were starting it or we were going to build it. We just thought we'd keep it quiet and get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
That was why we didn't do a whole load of build videos. And I said to Jim that when we got it done, we'd just do we'd taken a huge amount of photos all the way through.
I thought you'd gone quiet, because I said to Jim, I've not heard much from Chris. What's he up to? He said, I don't know. And it was obviously this, just beavering away in the background without telling anybody. Yeah.
John?
The schedule was vicious, I must say. To try and it's not building a kit. This is a complete development of a one-off from start to finish with all kinds of weird bits. And to actually complete that in 5 months, I still don't really know how we did it.
Well, that's where I was going. The question is, I mean, you did the Avon, and how many months did that take? And that was basically you held working from scraps and putting it together. And this, you didn't even have scraps. You had to go find it, then put it together in 5 months. Yeah. How did that work?
Well,
Trevor, you built yours, and how long did it take you to build your Tubi?
2 years.
Yeah, and it took me 1.5 years with mine. It's just like I'm amazed. I'm absolutely.
It's a regular build. You've got to remember, guys, that I'm really lucky that I've been doing this a long time. I've got a fully equipped workshop, which puts me in a different place to an awful lot of other guys that are trying to do it in a garage somewhere with hand tools. So I'm not going to try and claim I'm Superman and I'm doing anything fancy. I've just got everything I need to hand in either the next door workshop or from local suppliers. planning was a big deal. Talking about what's the next thing, how are we going to get there, what's the next phase that we need to complete. But starting with the chassis and a set of MGB running gear gave us the chance then just put it on some wheels, rest the engine gearbox in, and stand back and have a look and think, okay, that needs to be there, that needs to be there, that needs to be moved along.
We've all been there, right, Dave? Dave's there right now.
I'm somewhere.
But Chris, you've also got metalworking skills. So bodywork and creating bodywork from scratch is no problem for you. You've got all the bending tools and things like that. So it's not just, as you said, it's not just an average garage. It's a proper workshop. Yeah.
Got a proper workshop. Now, please don't get the idea that I'm a full-on coach builder, because I'm not. I can use an English wheel a little bit.
Yeah.
But the body on the truck was 12 millimeter square box section, bent round an old wheel to form the curves.
Yeah.
MIG welded together, and then aluminium sheet pulled around the outside and riveted on. So it's very low tech. But it's turned out nice. I like the way it looks. It looks proper 1930s, very low volume, the sort of thing that a coach builder or a local coach builder would have built for a tradesman as a trades truck.
I'm interested in finding, speaking to you about the compression of time factor, because I know in my own build, everything was going swimmingly at the very beginning, but as that little light at the end of the tunnel seemed to be moving further and further and further apart. And I wanted to get it done within a year and a half. Like all of the little jobs that I was supposed to be paying great attention to and spending a lot of time thinking everything through. I was in get her done mode. And
Well, when we took it to the show, it would drive just, and it's driven about 1.5 miles under its own steam in first gear at idle. So now we're back in the workshop. Now we're making all the lights work, finishing off all the details, making all the bits and pieces done. And we knew this was going to be the case. This wasn't a surprise because there's just so much to do. And it's the little things, Jim. It's the little things that catch you out. That you think, oh, I've only got to do that. And then you think, well, to do that, I've got to do that, and that. And then I've got to do that and that before that will work. And it's this planning. It's the thinking through and planning. We've got a big whiteboard in the garage.
Yeah.
And there was a list on the whiteboard all the way through the build that just kept changing, scrubbing bits off, adding bits on. What's the next bit that's going to catch us out? Where do we need to get to from there?
That's interesting.
You mentioned, if anyone can hear me.
Can hear you fine. Go for it.
Go, Laurie. Go for it, Laurie.
Hi. Yeah, no, that's fine. Just wanted to say I'm back. That was all. I've changed to my laptop now, so it is working better. I hope you can hear me.
Oh, that's way better. That's way better on your laptop.
Great.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So, Laurie, go for it, Trevor.
Chris, I was going to ask how. Go on. Okay. I was going to ask how, when you came up with the body shape and the bed and all that, how much did you have to play with proportions? Because sometimes these things, I'm getting feedback here. Sometimes these things, you can throw it all together and the proportions just look wrong. Did you have to fiddle with it much to get like the cab in the right place and the bed the right length so it looked balanced?
Yes, very, very much so. We started off by just putting the TA body on the chassis, thinking, okay, if we chop it off behind the scuttle, we'll make the rest of it from there. But then you put the archetypal box on the chassis and sit on it, put somebody on it, stand back and look, and you think, well, it's just not going to work. It just looks wrong.
You'll be hanging out the ass of the vehicle way too much.
Yeah. So in the end, we moved the front.
We ended up with a very short sort of luggage space on the back. The
box was 2 foot long. The pickup box. Put a suitcase on the back of a TC, you got more space. So the whole plan was we cut the TA where the floor sits on the chassis. It's got a really nice little angle at the front, but we had to cut all that away. So we moved the body forward 10 inches on the chassis. We moved the front subframe forward by another 8 inches to give us more length there, and then played around with the back end of the chassis by bolting things onto it, and then just kept trying things and kept putting a bit here, putting a bit there. the rear corners on a TA body have got a really nice curve to them. And we thought, well, maybe we can just use that as the back of the cab, and then we'll build an aluminium section up on top of there.
Yeah.
But then we looked at it and thought, well, then we've got to try and join aluminium on the fiberglass. We've got to join halfway up. Why don't we just make the body come all the way down to the bottom? So it evolved really quickly as we were putting the thing together. Just stand back and think, do a bit more, stand back and think.
And just make things easier for yourself. Yeah.
And by keeping this body frame all
Absolutely.
in this,
That was the main driving point. We knew. Yeah, go ahead.
You're up. Go for it, Laurie.
I was just going to agree with Chris. That was the main driving point was the fact that we knew we had the deadline to meet, so we didn't want to make anything difficult for ourselves by making it complicated.
Yeah. And then and now you have time to take it all apart and do it right.
And as Chris said, using the shape of the back of the TA was uppermost in our minds, really, because it was.
And I think the fundamental thing that you had to work with the chassis, because you did not, and you can alter the chassis, but if you do, you need an IVA. But you did not alter the chassis one little bit, so you were kind of like that was that's what you were left to work with. So you just had to arrange the body around the existing chassis and keep the chassis exactly as it is. And I think the proportions look great when you look at it, and I love the wood deck you've done. But we'll come on to that. Yeah.
Well, a part of this, I do an awful lot of research looking through YouTube and Google Images and all that kind of stuff, as you have to when you're doing something weird, because you don't want to fall into the trap that everybody else has. And I saw a late 1920s American pickup truck called a Huckster. And this is a tradesman's truck. If you're driving around the villages in the States and you're selling tools or vegetables or bread or whatever it is, you've got dusty roads, you've got villages a fair way apart. If you use a van, you've got to unload the van at every stop so people can see what you've got in the back. If you use a pickup truck, everything gets covered in crap as you're driving between towns. So the Huckster truck was a pickup truck with a semi-permanent roof and roll-down sides. So when you got to the next village, you could park up, roll the sides up, all the villagers could come out and see what you've got in the back of the truck. And then when you've sold what you're going to sell, roll the sides down, drive on the next one, everything stays clean. So that's a part of its original design idea, that when you look at the shape of it at the moment, where the two angled boards are, I'll try and do this with my hands, on the side of the pickup bed. At the back corners, the bed support tubes are open at the top. So we can actually put two tubes in there and run it up and then run a roof. But we just didn't have enough time to make the roof and the roll down sides before the show. So we've always called it the Huckster truck because that's what it was going to be, but it's not materialised yet.
That's very cool.
And the other thing I was just going to jump back to, and not that I would suggest that you're a pioneer on all this, Chris, as of course you are, but a guy who did something sort of similar but different, and he may correct me if I'm wrong, didn't John Barlow come up with a van, like a 1930 style van on a London taxi chassis in a similar sort of logic?
He did, yeah, and he did as John Barlow always does, he did a fantastic job. I'm a great admirer of John's work. I don't know him personally, but he's never done a dud as far as I'm concerned. And he's tried some real left field stuff with the, you saw was it called the Razor, the three-wheeler that he did?
A
reverse.
That was completely left field.
Left field, but it was beautifully executed. Doesn't matter if you like it or not, you can't help but admire the workmanship in it. And with the previous stuff he'd done with these, the Falcon, and then into the Royales and all the rest of them, and they were all top-notch products. Really good quality fiberglass, good engineering. So to be inspired by a man like that, I'm happy to take that one. But because I do this, I'm supposed to be retired now, but I'm still doing it on a regular basis. To have a little practical pickup truck, just to bomb around here, that ends up tax and MOT exempt, and I can shove a gearbox in the back, or I can go and get a sheet of wood from the local woodyard. That's a practical little truck for me, rather than I love my TC V8, but it's completely impractical. I can get me and one small person in it, and that's it. I have a hell of a time doing it, but I can't take anything else. Yeah, so if we go back to the actual build from there, once we got it on its wheels and we got the basic dimensions right, it was then the floor pan was a 8x4 sheet of plywood, just regular grade plywood. Stick it on the top and sit on a box on the floor, pencil round where your feet are, pencil round where the body is, and that was the design principle. Was right. Okay, that's going to go there. That's going to go there. The screen needs to be this high because that's where I'm looking through, and start cutting steel and welding stuff together. I would love to be able to be better at CAD design and electronic design, but you can't beat sitting on a box and somebody measuring where the top of your head is.
Yeah,
because you can use all the mannequins in the world, but if it's not the mannequin's not the same size as you, it's not going to work.
No.
Nothing wrong with cardboard aided design.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've used a bunch of it myself.
We went through some cardboard, trust me. Lots and lots of it. I think
speaking of cardboard aided design, about the roof for your cab, how did you come by that, and how did that work out for you?
Well, we got the body shape made. Do you want to jump in, Laurie? Are you going to have another go? How are you getting on? Can you hear us much? No, because I'm aware that he can probably hear us, but
Can I just jump in on one thing though? I just want to point out the irony of you making a truck with someone called Laurie.
I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, brilliant. I was going to say, Jim, I've also brought up some pictures. I don't know if you can see it, if you want to share them from the 7-Spot newsletter, because that's got some pictures in as well of the build.
I think I'll save that and edit all those things in later.
Oh, okay.
That's not what we're doing here.
Yeah. Brilliant. Fine.
Yeah. So the shape of the roof was very much, we built the body first. Now we need to put a roof on top. We knew we wanted a very early commercial vehicle feel. So it was going to be tongue and groove boards, same as you can buy from your local DIY store. Because of that, you can't do anything with too severe a curve in it because the tongue and groove boards just don't work. So that dictated the shape of that gentle curve on the back of the cab roof.
Well, that's what I was wondering. How did you get the thing? And how did you make it? How do you make it watertight as well? That's the next question.
An awful lot of Sikaflex. But
pass another box of pen tubes, please.
Yes. Well, I found out that Car Builder Solutions, great company. If you're in the UK, try and use them. They're really lovely people. They do the same as Sikaflex. Yeah, with their own polyurethane one, and it's about 2/3 the price. Wow. It's a no-brainer. It's probably made in the same factory. It certainly appears to be the same stuff. So Car Builder Solutions, they've been faultless. And we've also used a lot of MGB stuff. So I'm going to do another shameless plug at the same time. We have a company fairly local to us near Wisbeach called the MGB Hive. And their customer services, I can phone them 2:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. Wednesday lunchtime, it's here. Just ordinary mail service. They know exactly what they're talking about because they specialise in MGBs. So if you know anybody who's doing either MGB restorations or MGB kit cars, have a look for MGB Hive. That's the plugs over and done with now. But they've both been really helpful during the build, so I'm happy to give them good credit for it.
Well, if I can, I've got a constantly misbehaving midget, and to cover that usual line of other brands are available, I've actually been using the MG Owners Club for my bits, and they have been very good as well. So very good support for the MG branded stuff in the UK.
That's your MG that you bought at auction. I'm not going to say too
much. Let's move on quickly.
It's going fine. It's going fine now, though, isn't it? Yeah.
But
back to you, Chris.
Having MGB running gear and an MX-5 engine, you've probably got the two best supported classic vehicles for spares that you're probably going to find in the country.
Yeah.
So getting parts for both of them is easy, and everything else we've made or been given. So the supply route for parts was good. we've got another member of the NG Owners Club, fairly local to us, called Alan Myland, sorry. And he's on about his 6th NG, I think now. And he came over to see us at one point. He said, "I've got all these bits. Would you like them?" Well, okay. I said, "I'm happy to buy them."
Yeah.
And he came
I've
up
got
with
a truck now. I'll be right over.
It comes with wings and a grill shell and some lights and some this and some that. And I think, yeah, fantastic. How much do I owe you? No, you can have them. You can just take them. I thought, okay, brilliant. You know, it doesn't happen very often. So, yeah, the rear lights are down to Alan. The front running lights are down to Alan. The wings weren't, but the wings are one of the biggest challenges on the truck. I will say.
Yeah. Do you make them yourself or?
Well, no. I tried. I went to a hell of a long day out, which was a bit of a bloody disaster, and found some old truck wings off a 1920s Delahaye, which I like the look of when I saw them on Marketplace, and I thought, "Oh,
is that the ones where you had them spliced together?"
That's it, yeah. And I thought they might actually work, but when we tried putting them on the truck, the dimensions were so wrong that it just looked silly. So I carried on looking on Marketplace and found a guy who had 2 front and 2 rear fiberglass wings that were going to go on a hot rod.
Oh, okay.
But he wanted £100 for the 4 wings, so good starting point. Drove down to see him and found out that rather than fiberglass wings, they were actually the original mold plugs that somebody was going to take another fiberglass mold off of.
Okay, so you got the original molds, yeah.
In places, these things are 1.5 inches thick of fiberglass and filler. So they were never destined to go on a car. They were destined to be the mold plug that you take your mold from and then take the wings out the inside the mold. Because of the time, Alan, we didn't have the time to actually make the molds and then make a new set of wings. So what's on the truck now are the mold plugs, but they're heavily, heavily modified because they've been lengthened by 14 inches. We've taken 2 inches out the width all the way down, glued it all back together again, fiberglassed it all back together. And then
they weigh about, and they sounds like they weigh about 2.4 tons on their own.
That's each side. Yeah.
Wing. I think each front wing must be 80k.
Wow.
They are monstrous things. But they did to get it to the show. They just about.
I kind of have a dumb question for you.
Sorry, go, Jim.
Yeah, another dumb question is drivetrain related, because it's my MX-5 drivetrain, and you've got the MGB diff back there. How did you make the 2 of them? This is a question that Dave wants to hear.
Right. Okay. So we've got an MGB drive shaft. We've got an MX-5 drive shaft. Would you believe they are exactly the same tube diameter? Exactly.
No kidding. Is that a fact?
I was as stumped as I was absolutely shocked. So what we managed to do was cut round the weld on the MX-5 front drive joint. And then the shaft.
And you just
push the MX-5 on. You have to spend a long time with a digital dial gauge, put it in position and spin the prop to make sure you've got it straight. Because if you get any run out on it, we still don't know. It might vibrate terribly. We just don't know. We haven't used it at speed yet. But we spent hours, and I do mean hours, straightening this thing up, tacking it, tapping it, tapping it to try and see if it was straight. We've got it within, we think, about 2.5 thou run out. So
you don't want it doing this sort of thing.
But what we worked on the principle that we haven't got time to get an external contractor to make one, because if they bugger us about and say it's going to be 6 weeks, the whole project's stymied. So we thought we'd do this way round. This will make it drive. We can try it. If it works, we've got lucky. If it doesn't, we've got a local company to us called Prop Shaft Services for about £200. We can send them what we've got, and they'll make an exact copy.
Make his one to fit.
We've got the length right. We've got the ends right. So there's no, we think it's one of those, or maybe it's that size, or could it be this? No, we've got just make an exact copy of that, but balance it and make sure it runs true. So that's another one.
Yeah, you got it all welded up. You could always get it balanced afterwards anyway.
It's the truth.
You don't want it going all wobbly while you're...
as well as the balance.
I've been there. That's my first mistake. I got a local guy to mate my where my quaif box goes back to my T-bird.
Oh, of course, you've got a
It
quaif
was
in
going
there,
rah,
yeah.
rah, rah, just as you said. So I fired him and went to an expert.
It's when you get to about 60 miles an hour and realise you can see 4 of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frightening stuff. Yeah. And we put 16-inch wire wheels on it, just for the proportions. Because with 15s, they never look quite big enough. But with 16s and a 165 taxi tyre, they've got just the right size to them. They look correct. It would have been nice to go for 18s, but then you've got to start changing diff ratios to suit as well. Otherwise, it's just the bloody thing won't pull away.
I got another drivetrain question for you, Chris. I mean, with the NGTA engine mounts, obviously you couldn't use them, or did you adapt them? And then the other question is, did you have to lift the MX-5 up so it had the right rake to meet the differential at the back?
Right. So with engine and gearbox mounts, it was start with the angle grinder and get rid of it. Yeah. And then sit the axle on the floor, look at the diff pinion angle, and then put the engine and gearbox on a crane, get those correct. And as long as your output shaft of your gearbox and your diff pinion are at the same angle, they don't have to be pointing at each other. They can be out of line this way, but they can't be out of line this way. Yeah. Because if one goes out of line to the other, what happens is the way that the UJs work, the prop shaft where it goes in the back of the gearbox is constantly going in and out every revolution rather than just rotating, and that's what causes an awful lot of vibration. But with these modern digital angle finders, it's not complicated. You just get the angle finder, put the batteries in it, hold it on there, and say, right, that's at that degrees. Put that on there. That's at that degrees. So you've got to take your time and you've got to concentrate. But everything is available, and these digital angle finders are about 12 quid, I think, or something like that. They're no money.
So you were out in the shed, freezing in February, while you're using your digital angle grinder.
And still working on your Tiger as well. Between
the
Tiger.
The Tiger was just about finished by February, so we were almost there. It looked a bit odd because when I did the final video on the Tiger, I was wearing a silly shirt. Got to do the silly shirt. And the sun was shining, but it was early March. So it looked like it was the middle of summer, but it wasn't. It was, we just got a bit of freak weather here, which made it happen. Okay.
If you did it again, would you do anything different with the pickup?
Yeah, there'd be a few bits.
It wouldn't do it,
the first thing I would do is say we're going to do it for the year after show. Because the time crunch was the one that really made it hard. It was a good challenge to have, I will say. It wasn't a bad challenge, but I'm 67 now, and in here I'm still 35. I can do that. We'll go out and we'll do this and we'll do that. And
what was the total time you spent on it? It wasn't long, was it? I think you may have mentioned it. I can't remember.
Well, it's 5 months. Pretty much to the day.
From scratch.
From very first starting, the first day we laid a grinder on the chassis till we rode onto the show field.
Wow.
If I can jump onto you, Chris, on that, it was interesting to say about I'd have taken more time over it. The only thing, because I remember when I was completing my build, I'd got an SVA booked. So it actually helped a lot with the decision-making process that you need, I've only got 3 weeks to go. I can't faff about and come up with a solution that's going to take me 2 weeks to do because I've got 50 other jobs. So it does actually sometimes work better, I think, maybe to have that shorter time scale because it forces you to make those decisions and everything progresses that much slicker because you might have a longer time scale and end up with the same solution anyway.
Yeah. What about you, Dave?
I'll jump in here too because you built the car in 5 months. It took me 5 months just to clean my seat pans. So, it's all relative.
I think you need a time and motion.
Yeah. But I did make a video of it. So that counts for what? How much, Trevor? 2.5 months of work? I don't know. Yeah. I'm very slow and I've had mostly hiccups, but
I think you need some kind of time and motion study there, Dave, if I'm honest.
I got a lot of studies.
Yeah. Well, again, mine's a weird one because I can do this full time now. I can work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week if I want to, because I don't have to go to work because I'm retired now. So I'm not trying to rub people's noses in it and say, oh, I've done it in 5 months. Look at me. It's nothing to do with that. Very, very few people have the chance to actually do this full time.
But it's that ability to be able to see where you want to be at the end of the tunnel before you start your journey into the tunnel. Yeah. Because you were mentioning in the video that a lot of the decisions you had to make at the end were basically, okay, what do we have in the bin? You know,
yes.
Basically, what can we use?
Yeah. Because that affects the time element. Because we're not shopping, we're not trying to find out, waiting 2 weeks before we can do the next part. The chrome grill shell. Originally, we were going to use an NG grill shell, and I had one, and I thought, okay. And the chrome grill shell that's on it now was destined for another project, and we picked it out one day.
I like that one, by the way.
Yeah, well, it's an MG Y type one from the very early 50s. And we picked it up to move it to get the NG grill shell out from behind it. And I thought, hang on,
it was.
It's shiny, it's a bit bent, but it'll do the job. Put it up on front there.
It's a working truck.
It just looked great.
It does look great.
And it really did fit it. And because then we were just about to start making the bonnet, and you can't change your mind on grill shell once you've made the bonnet. And the amount of hours in actually rolling the alley sections for the bonnet. A lot of people who do the NGTAs, and again, please don't think this is a criticism. The top sheet they use for the aluminium, they roll it around something so it looks nice, but they don't do a folded edge on the front and the rear, because then all you've got to do is get a pair of tin snips and trim it to the right length, and that's it. It looks
okay. You go.
But it's got no strength to it. When you've opened it 2 or 3 times, it all bends and it's all wobbly. Whereas I like a proper double folded over edge on there, so it's got a nice bit of structure to it. So again, once you've got that, the scuttle in place and the grill shell in place, doing these folds on those front and rear edges, that's tough. To try and get the gapping right afterwards. You've got to allow for the metal thickness, you've got to allow for all the curvature around the edges of it. So it takes a bit of working out. But we've got a couple of techniques we use now. And you notice in the bonnet sides, there's some louvers in there. When we were given the body, the guy gave us a whole NGTA bonnet, and the louvers were the full length of the bonnet. But they looked too cheesy. There was just too much of it. We knew we needed something in there to try and let the hot air out the engine bay. That's its primary function.
So did you create a press for that?
No, we literally just cut it in half and thought, okay, we'll give it a try, see what it looks like. And then by setting it in the back of the panel and radiusing in the corners of the cutouts and doing this double fold again, it looks correct. A lot more work, but it looks correct. So it was worth doing.
Brilliant.
Yes.
You must have been late for supper a few nights.
Oh, yeah. There was a few. There was a fair bit of paracetamol consumed. There was a lot of whiskey, an awful lot. Yeah, very effective painkiller and a good thought promoter. Because where the top of where the NGTA scuttle is, it's built like the early 1930s NGs with the 2 little bumps, one in front of the driver, one in front of the passenger. So we thought we'd have that behind the windscreen. That'll look quite nice. And we started looking at windscreen profiles and how it was going to work. We thought, it just looks horrible. So we ended up cutting the whole top off the scuttle, making a new former for the top to give us a decent curve, and then re-fiberglassing everything and then joining it on the top of the scuttle again. So these are the sort of things that nobody's ever going to know because they won't have seen how it was.
But the flip side to that though is that if you didn't do that and it looked wrong, they would know you hadn't done it.
Yes,
but it's ironic that they won't realise you have done it because it looks right. If that makes sense.
The bits you've got right are the bits you get the least comments about.
Oh God, yeah.
Because that's just the way it is. It looks right, and you don't need to.
Sounds like a YouTube video.
Or discussions about your own build. There are parts on mine that will be my secrets that I'll be taking to the grave. That's
Yes, and stuff that people can't see as well.
Exactly right.
Exactly
right.
Yeah.
But so there's all that extra work makes it look authentic rather than kit car. And that sounds like a pretty horrible term, and I don't mean it to be nasty or derogatory in any way. But you can look at an awful lot of cars on one-off projects and think, yeah, if I was doing it, I wouldn't do it like that. And I'm sure people think some about what we've done exactly the same.
Yeah.
But when I compare it with other late 20s, early 30s, up to mid 30s commercial vehicles, it looks proportionally as it should do. So,
yeah.
There will always be somebody who's got an opinion that's of the negative persuasion, no matter what you do.
They're usually the ones that have never built anything.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And as you say, Trev, it's the same if you put a YouTube video out. There's always one.
Oh well, the funny thing you should say that, Chris, about people who haven't built anything, because that was my first interaction with Bernie from Jock Shop. And I'd put a post on Facebook about it, and he put a sort of semi rant under it about, this is usual stuff by people that haven't built anything. So I just sent him a message saying, "Here's my number, give us a call." And he did, and I pointed out all the things I've done, and we've been mates ever since.
Brilliant.
And you did the interviews with him as well, which are brilliant as well. But
it literally all started from him giving me a poke over, have you ever built anything yourself? And actually I have. And that was like,
It looks like you had quite good fun. It looks like you had quite fun.
Oh yeah, we had a real scream. Great guy.
Well, guys, we've been on. We always say we're going to cut these things short and keep them nice and tight. And here we are at 46 minutes. But I do want to say thank you very much, Chris and Laurie, wherever you are, lurking in the depths of the internet. But
I'll make sure he sees this, even if he doesn't get the direct one. So,
I'm going to send him a complete copy as soon as this downloads. And by the way, we will have to stay online until it does upload. I'll send him a complete copy so he can curse and swear at his computer.
Well, he's in a village called Hochwald, which is about 15 minutes drive from me, and about a mile up the road from him is one of the huge USAF listening stations with the giant antenna. So we might presume that might be something to do with his signal quality.
You'd think the broadband would be pretty good then. Fibre optic must be surely into a base. Well, they probably don't use broadband, to be fair.
Yeah,
don't know.
I should have
just called him and have him turn them off.
We had the man on the inside. We had the inside fella with us. One call from Dave and he's all down
in the Air Force.
Well, at that, guys, I'm gonna end the stream if that's all right with everybody, and then I just ask everybody just to hang out there for a little while till it all gets uploaded. But thanks so much, and we will see you at 7 Spot.
Yeah, be seeing you.
See you next time, guys.